It's Fresh Life Jermo. I'm in here with my boy Pico at HighThoughtsTV. We on a vegan perso suite.
The smoke a perso sweet with HighThoughtsTV.
Y'all know what the fuck we doing, man. It's Hot Thoughts TV. Niggas hot in the bitch, man.
I'm smoking a perso sweet with HighThoughtsTV.
The visuals. That's what make Texas live. Like, hey, everybody respected for doing their thing versus out there it's kind of like, yeah, everybody doing the same thing. Yeah.
So those early days for you growing up as a kid, let's talk like school. What were you into in school, or just like, as a young dude growing up?
Yeah, shoot, man. I was into sports. I played football. I was a safety. Bikes. Shoot, just outside hooping on Sunday. Every Sunday something going down in Houston anyway. You can still see some slabs or somebody playing basketball Sunday like the day in Houston.
Yeah.
But yeah, shoot, I was active,
Shoot. What's your opinion, like, in today's time, I feel like active and outside isn't as popular as it was then. That back then, that's all we had.
Yeah, man, that's all we had. That's when the Xbox, the original Xbox was out. And then the PlayStation 1s and 2s. That day we was still outside with them, and now I don't even know what game it is. Like, my mind always, even when I was young, I was always on some other stuff like hustling, trying to get some money. You know what I'm saying, with the guys, you feel me, doing something. But yeah, it was different. You know what I'm saying? I can totally say that back in the G. It's still now. You know what I'm saying? It's different. It's a few kids that's still active.
Yeah. So you said Fresh Life Jermo. Talk a little about Fresh Life. What exactly is that? So
Fresh Life, I would say, as a brand, you know what I'm saying, or just the name, that come from back in the days at PV. I went to school at PV. Me and my partner from East Texas, CJ, we used to throw all these parties, these live parties back in Pine Island. And shoot, we was making shirt, merch, music with my boy in the Bay, Black Cat in Oakland. So it was more like a vibe, a way of life. Like every week, every month, you knew you could go to this party, you know what I'm saying, eat something good, have merch, music. So shoot, that's where Fresh Life really came from. And we was in agriculture at PV, because we grew up in Houston, riding horses too. So in college, it was almost the same thing, but on another level. We was still doing what we was doing on the slide, hustling, or, interning, working, whatever the college life was too, but still in agriculture, like riding horses, the trail ride culture, the roping culture. Yeah. So shoot, we was just like, hey, the Fresh Life boys throwing the party. And so from there, that's where the brand really come from. And I would say as time developed, it developed into more of a business aspect of Fresh Life Organic and Fresh Life Hemp, growing hemp, and, you know what I'm saying, Fresh Life Records, making music, just, diversifying into all these different brands and aspects, art of what we do.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to make a different way than what we was really doing, you know what I'm saying, from when we was young.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's talk like that actual moment where y'all say, okay, we're gonna throw our first party. Like, walk me down. Like, how did that come into play?
Man, the party came into play because really in college, like people think like in college everything's smooth. You get your little OP check and all that. And yeah, by the end of the semester, you know what I'm saying, you gotta throw parties or people selling stuff or whatever just to, you know what I'm saying, make ends meet, because people don't be just, people think, because I was the first generation college, you know what I'm saying, my family. So, you know what I'm saying, to me, in the outside, when I'm going back home, it's the same thing. When I'm PV, I gotta get books, I gotta make sure I pass, and we still working to get what we need. So from there, shoot, my mind was really on like, hey man, we gotta make some money. And we already knew everybody knew everybody. And knew me. Shoot. So we just like, hey man, we gonna throw a party. Man, we threw the party. Sheriff ended up coming, man, it was lit.
Yeah.
So on Thursdays they knew, hey, we got this party. We started, making the flyers and the gates. And back, shoot, I remember, man, one party we threw, Rizzo, even Vucci P, like, because they was in PV doing the, that's when when the South just had came in. You like in the play, yeah. Also, I remember that 5th George JP. So over time, shoot, different artists was coming through. And it was just in the duck out. We had like 3 to 5 acres. It was lit.
Yeah. So how did y'all really make a name for yourself? Because I feel like at least I went to Blend, so like my time at Blend, this might have been a completely different time, but that was like when I first started hearing about the DJ Choses and
Chose. That's what I'm saying. It was lit. That was the era of really right now. They're still major artists on another scale, but even then in Texas, just the culture of independence. Like I was just saying earlier, in Texas and Houston, everybody independent. That's just our culture. So even back then, I think I still had to pay them to DJ or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no difference. So, you know what I'm saying? It just showed the growth and elevation and staying true whatever you're doing and networking, making money. Because at the time, you end up getting in the industry and crossing paths,